Hey guys, how you doing? So basically, I just made a small project and I just wanted to present it. So basically, it's open source, fully accessible. Anybody who wants to use it, you totally can. That's it. So I just wanted to let everybody know that this was like available, that this existed. So basically, the premise is it's very simple. Um, Suppose you're a TA, right? Teacher's assistant at the university. You have to take the attendance there. Well, boom, this is a little application to let you take that. Super basic. The thinking when I made this was really like, okay, I just want to be able to make a small tool that can be helpful in this specific use case. So I really just wanted to make that small module. And basically, I'll just walk you through what it can do, the flow for getting started. It's really very easy. Um, so yeah, let's just stop talking and get into it, right? So basically, all you have to do is clone the repo, right? If you know about Git, that'll be pretty simple. You just gotta access this URL, and then right here you'll just go right. You'll be in a directory up, and you'll do git clone, and then the repository URL right there that we just saw. So look, after cloning, right? And this is all detailed in the README, by the way, right? So a prerequisite you need for this is Docker Desktop, okay? You have to make sure that Docker Desktop is running before you run these steps, okay? So after having cloned the repo, you cd into the project directory, right? And then you have to copy the env example to make a new env file. So I already made mine. I'll just go ahead and we'll just do all the steps together, right? So look, cp env example env, right? And now here, because this is a local application, so that's something I should have led with. I really wanted to make this application something that, as a TA, as a user TA, you don't need anybody to sign off on you using. You don't need your institution to be using this in order to have the permission to use this. This is just for you to use on your own, independent of anybody else, right? So um, this is a local setup. So the point is, it doesn't matter what you put here, right? You could put anything, right? You just need to have something. So have something, make sure your end file is named exactly like this. This is important. And from there, you're good to go, right? So after doing that, all you need to do is run this docker compose command here from this specific directory, right? So from the project directory, you just run this. And what's going to happen is we're going to get the images that are necessary for building the project. It happened pretty fast for me because I happened to have run this just once before the video, but it's still pretty fast. There's really nothing crazy going on here. And once you have that, you can see the next step here. It's to open this link, right? So you can go ahead and do that on your browser. I've gone ahead and done it. So basically here. And this takes you to a login page, right? So the thinking I had when I made this, it's because it's really not strictly necessary. But if you want the added security of knowing that you need credentials before you're logging into whatever you're gonna access, you have that assurance, right? So you can go ahead and try to log in. If you've never used this before, you won't have an account, so you can create one here. So I just got a notification that the password I'm trying to use is being used. That's because the password I'm using is straight up just password. So I'm using password here again too. And I'll go ahead and create my account. So now obviously Chrome is telling me, yeah, that's a bad password, which is true, obviously. So this is the dashboard of the application. So from here, you can access the different flows you're going to use in the attendance taking flow. So before you take attendance, you have to create a class, right? So new class. Let's say I'm going to call this my class, okay? Now period, this is an extra field. It's not really necessary. The thinking was first period, second period. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, it's a required field. So you can just go ahead and put, I don't know, whatever, right? It doesn't really matter. Even I think you could just put some default thing if you want, right? So look, now you have to add the students that you want to be taking the attendance for, because basically these guys need to exist before we can take attendance for them, right? So ideally, before you go into that class to take the attendance, you would have like a list of all those students, and you would add those students beforehand, right? So let's just suppose I add here, I don't know, George C, right? Or I could add Johnny B, and maybe, I don't know, Alice C. There you go, right? So I have my students in my class, right? And right there you could make another class if you want, if you're someone who has more than one class, you can absolutely do that. It's all supported, right? With the same flow that we just saw, right? So I go back to my dashboard, right? And I'm going to take attendance. This is how I take attendance, right? So I can set the date that this is happening. I select my class. This is assuming that for a given class, you're probably only having that class in one day. And the idea really is you have your students here, you have the status of their attendance. It defaults to absent. You can say present, maybe they're late, maybe they're excused, whatever it is, okay? And then we go ahead, we submit the attendance. So at that point, the attendance has been submitted for that course, right? And now we can go to our attendance history. We can see the history of the absences, right? Here we can select our class, right? So we can just pick it from there. So we can see this is for a given date. We can see what the absence status was, right? Or we can see from a range if we want, right? And basically, we want to output a report. Well, actually, you know what? Let me go back and take attendance for another day. This way we'll see the range a little better, right? So I'll take it for tomorrow, right? So I'll go ahead, let's say everybody was present the day after, right? Now we can see attendance history. We can see for the different ranges, right? So if I want to see for this day, I see they were all there, right? Or maybe I want from a range, so I want from, right? So we can see these are, so this filters the selection we have for our little graph here, right? So now reports here, so this allows us to output the report of all the attendance of the students for a given class, right? So the idea would be at the end of the semester, after you've taken your attendance for the whole class, what you would do is you would export the CSV. I assume, to be presented to the teacher, right? So you download the CSV, then boom, you can just see this in whatever, Excel editor you use, right? So this is a CSV output right now, but you could just send this to whoever and it would have whatever you need and the job would be done, right? So that's it. I just wanted to, expose this thing that I made. Anybody who wants to use it, please be my guest. If you have things you want to change about it, feel free to submit an issue here. This actually is fixed. Yeah, so if you want to submit a new issue, you can do it right here. Please reach out if you have any ideas. I'm happy to to work through that. So thank you for your time. Take it easy.